Here's a great article that came out today on silver doctors. If you guys aren't aware of this, it looks like stagflation is already upon us, and you can go in there and just look at the Bitcoin price and truly get a better understanding of it. That's probably one of the things that's the closest thing to a free market we have. The stock market is so rigged, and once you understand and do the research on it, that they know every one of the trades you're going to do, especially if you've got stop losses on your stocks and your mutual funds and stuff, and trading stop losses. If you have any of those types of things on your stock accounts, they can see everything you're doing, and they often artificially just drop the price below the point where your stop loss is at, just so they can trigger it and get you out of it, and then they go back in and buy back in at a lower price, and then they run it back up, and they keep doing the same thing. Well, if you don't believe me, go out and do the real research on that. That's been going on since I think I've read and seen where it's been going on since the late 60s, because there was a gentleman by, I think, the name of Pete. He did a huge study on it, and once he learned about all these insider guys taking advantage of people inside the stock market, he made a big article and book about it and started educating the world about it. It's kind of gone unnoticed here in the last, 30, 40 years since, but I recently discovered it and came across it, and it's quite shocking. But anyway, that's not what this article is about today, so we're going to get back to taking a look at the stagflation and what's going on in America. If you haven't seen this going on, you might be not paying attention, because it's going on right in front of our noses. If you look around anywhere you go, look at food prices, look at gasoline, everything seems to be going up. And I've read several articles lately where the Fed is doing everything in their power to get some type of inflation going, just because this economy hasn't been moving the way they want, and they keep printing so much money to try and get things moving up in the right direction. But so far they haven't really done so much to get that going. Now, if you listen to the Fed, they'll say the U.S. Federal Reserve is pulling back, as we know, and they're trying to create some tightening, and they're raising the rates. Now, they're also trying to liquidate some assets, as they would call it, and they're trying to normalize rates. But they're really not telling you a whole lot, because even the reason that tax cuts are essentially being a extension of an improved version of QE, and even though they're not going to call it that, they did all that QE back in around 2008, 2009, 2010 to try and get the economy going again. But this is another one of the back doors they're using, and the elevation or the levels are going to be unseen, because it's going to break out and start causing us all kinds of issues. And if you're saving any of your monies in a bank, you're going to get killed. And we haven't seen any of this yet, because the tax cuts really have a lagging effect on us, and they'll probably fully run into the mainstream here in probably 2019. Both European Central Bank and the Bank of Japan are still aggressively monetizing and printing money to create more credit, and they're not following the path of what our Federal Reserve is doing so far. And every day this credit bubble keeps growing and growing. One of these days it's going to pop, and if you're not holding something other than paper money, you are going to get decimated. This is a time to be holding some type of cryptocurrency, silver, gold, something other than paper dollars. Now, once all this inflation starts to kick in, no country around the world will really be able to shield itself from the inflation, because everybody in the world is hinged off the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar basically controls all the paper money in the world at this point in time. But right now, for the United States, the U.S. dollar is holding strong, and the Fed is doing everything impossible to manipulate and rig the market to keep it up so that it will go the way they want it to. And I think we're at the point of no return, because they've got, what is it, $21 trillion worth of debt. That's the debt they tell us they have. Who knows what the real figure is, because the Fed's never been audited, and that's a whole nother story for another video. But anyway. Also, don't be lured in by this stock market and its rise in value, because that's very deceptive. Because as the stock market is rising, the value of the dollars that you have invested in there are probably getting pinched away and they're getting squeezed. So just because your stock values are rising doesn't mean you're going to be able to even keep up. That's why I'm a big advocate of cryptocurrency, and I think cryptocurrency is probably one of the best ways at this point in time to hedge yourself from all of the inflation that's coming down the road. And it probably won't all happen maybe this year, next year, or even 2020, but it's going to happen over a period of time. And I think that they're going to try and hide it as best they can. Well, like right now, if you go out and analyze what's involved in the CPI, they've basically eliminated anything in there that's related to inflation. Like they've taken food out, they take the fuel out, and so a lot of the stuff that's in there really doesn't have enough inflationary effect. So that makes the number look better, and it keeps the perception out there, at least in what they're reporting to the rest of us, that there is no inflation going on right now. Again, let's go back in here and let's look at just Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Look at that massive run-up in inflation we've had, or if you want to just say Bitcoin's rise in value. But to me, that's more indicative of the inflation that's going on that's hidden, because it was clear down here at $600 a year ago. And it traded up here roughly 1,000 before it started its big run. And even today, it's sitting at 9,000, so it's still up 10 times where it was even this time a year ago. So even if you take out this huge run up to 20,000, that's a huge run. And that kind of tells me that the inflation is inside the system, and Bitcoin's actually showing that what's really going on with the US dollar. The dollar's losing value, and Bitcoin's compensating for it because it's rising. So it's up tenfold already this year. And let's go over here and look at some of the stuff in real estate. Housing is doing the same thing. We've got a rise there as well. So housing prices are soaring. Here's the 5 cities where they're rising the fastest. So again, that's another sign that we've got inflation going on. It's not your wealth is truly growing. Your wealth is losing buying power because they keep printing money over and over. And if you don't understand that, you may want to go to my website and take my video series. It's completely free. Under articles, it's called Learning About Money, and I show you exactly how money came to be and why we're using paper money, and how they can just go ahead and print whatever they want to do whatever they want with it. And I give you a detailed 4-part series on it. It's completely free at easycryptocurrency.com. It's under the articles section, and it's under Learning About Money. So you can go over there. You don't even have to sign up to get it. So feel free to go over there, learn about money and what the true money is and why it's important you understand all of this going into this cryptocurrency phase that we're getting ready to go into. And my prediction, even though I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, but I think if you do not protect yourself with cryptocurrencies, you are going to get decimated in this next round of changes that are going to happen. They're not going to happen all overnight, but they're definitely going to happen over time. And if you keep trying to outsave everything, keep it in the bank, and they're paying you what, a paltry maybe 1% if you're good, 1.66 I think I saw on a banking website today. That's terrible. You're just losing every day by leaving it over there. And a lot of these cryptocurrencies, while they're volatile, they go way up, they go way down. But like I just pointed out to you, Bitcoin is up year over year. It's up over tenfold. So I'm more a fan of just sitting tight and buying it, holding it, and sitting on it rather than trying to buy and sell on every whipping up and down movement in the world. So anyway, this Bitcoin Charlie signing off. Go over to the website if you want to get more information on how to get started for free. And for those who want to sign up and get the premium course, I'll show you all the inside stuff, like how do you really know like you're getting your software for your wallets from somebody who was actually a designer or a developer rather than some hacker who's going to start stealing your Bitcoins. Go over to the website, easycryptocurrency.com, and you can learn a lot more. Thanks.